I guess it's about time I start for the day. I decided to change my stream plans for the day just to go working on game stuff just because that's what I feel like doing today. And since no one's really invested in what I was doing before, I can take a break for that for a day. I'm going to go ahead and just work on a game project randomly. I still don't really know the extent of what I want to do for it. I'm going to go ahead and start prototyping some stuff out. Go image, grid. I'll go 16 by 16 and show the grid. And just have some prototype tiles. Just to have something to put onto the screen. Obviously every tile set needs some grass. Every tile set needs some third-ish path kind of thing. Sandy, probably a bit more brown. Like so. Some good objects to collide with would be like water. So we'll have a blue tile. Probably darker blue. In fact, let's have some inner water that can be a lighter blue. Sure. This is all just for prototyping anyway. Let's add some kind of cliff feature, I guess. We can take up this section, I suppose. Fill. And then grab the eraser tool. Go roughly 7 pixels in. No, 8. I'll erase like so. And then 8 pixels in. And just erase like so. Whoops. Erase that. And now I'll just go ahead and take the magic wand, delete the sections that are the outer areas. I think that should make for a decent kind of ledge structure. See how this works out. Go to projects. Probably not show that. Create folder. I'll change that in a second. Prototype tile set. Then I can go ahead and minimize this. Rename this. Got myself a prototype tile set. Whoops. Tile map layer. Get a new tile set. They're 16 by 16. Go to the tile set. Set it up. Go to the tile map. Start drawing things out. Just so I have an area to play around in. Go like so. Maybe some water in the corner here. And there can be some internal water right here. Lastly, I need another tile map layer. Go ahead and set another tile map. Because I just kind of need this on an upper layer. We can go ahead and select this. Stick it in the corner. That's not exactly what I need. I can add on to this though. I need to go grab this. Uh, 16 by 16. Is that too big? No, it's not. Control C, Control V. I'll just add these corner pieces in. Right here. Like so. And the last one. Right here. Export it. I forgot I need to go to project, rendering, duty, not the right spot. Renderer, no. Environment, nope. I forget where this comes in. Textures, yeah, right here. Set it to nearest. Makes that a bit sharper. Tile set. Let's go and create the tiles. Go back to the tile map. Wrong one. Like so. Now the water has a nice kind of curve to it. And let's set this up over here as well. Yeah, I needed the bottom ones, yep. And there we go. Lastly, up to there. And, oh, right. Let's go back here. I want a new tile set. I'll keep the same thing. Add alpha. Because I like to do it this way for my tile sets. I'll go view, show grid. Make sure my grid is the proper size for this one as well. Oops, not 6, I want 16. And for now, the only tile in the set is going to be red. And I will go ahead and fill that up. File, export as, event tile set, export. And I'm just going to go ahead and actually create new node. I'll just call node. Perfect. Test scene. Make scene root. Add child node. Node 2D. Yeah, node 2D is probably for the best. File, map, layers. This is ground. This is ledges. And then I will need one more tile map. Layer, I'll call this one event map. And this is one I actually enjoy doing. So what you go ahead and do is you set this. Yes. Select, no, paint. Physics layer, add element. Don't call anything on it, so you just go to physics layer, click it. Now it's got a physics layer on 0. Let's go to project. Actually, we can probably do that from here, can't we? Edit layer names, yep. Layer 1 is walls. Just so I have that now. This is how I like using event maps, is you can, not event maps, but my tile map collisions, I just prefer to have a collision tile that I can draw onto the map, like so, that the player cannot walk through. Whoops. There we go. And then you can just hide the collision layer in the build of the game. This kind of helps me visualize where you can collide and where you don't. You can have multiple kinds of collision events in here, like a warp tile and whatnot. Anyway, I will go here, and just because it doesn't really need to be all that visible, I can just set this to 128, like so. And even if I hide that, I still can't walk through that. But actually, I just remembered I also kind of want to block off the map. Like so. Next up is the player. I should go ahead and make a prototype of the player. File, new. The player will be 16 tall, and there'll be about 4 frames of it for now. I really needed to make transparency the default in Godot, but whatever. Images, configure grid, set that to 16, and then show the grid. And how do I want the player? Let's make the player like a dark green. Let's fill it all in. Grab black. We will pen it in. This is all just kind of prototyping stuff because I'm not very good at art. I'm sure I will take the time to get better at it as this progresses, but for now, I just kind of want things to have visuals. There we go. Like so. And lastly, there, and then I'm going to use the wand, get rid of that border. Let's change this, I don't know, to a more gray color. I assume this is like roughly the center, so I'll just give them eyes like so. This is just kind of so you can see the direction that he's facing. like that maybe. And this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, like so. Perfect. 0, 1, 2, 3. I did that too far. Oops. Like so. And lastly, like so. This is just player direction essentially. Sure, why not? I'll make the eyes a bit yellow. Stand out a bit. This is a very poor representation. In fact, I have an idea. Let's go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. That's good, and then go to the eraser. Like so. Whoops, it's a bit too much. There, now that's a bit better to see where they're facing. Like so. Like I said, I'm not very good at art, so this is what it's going to be for quite a while. And that all looks correct. Now I just gotta erase. Like so. There's not even a walk animation. It's just gonna be a way to see what direction the player is facing. Whoops. And there we go, that's all of them. I think that's good enough. Right? No, the edge looks a bit too hard. Let's go ahead and do something like that. How does that look? Good enough, probably. Let's go ahead and export that. As player sprite sheet. I'll go ahead and create a folder called player images. Stick that in there. In fact, over here, I'll create a new folder, call this tile sets. That's not a good name for it. Rename tile set images. That's better. Let's go ahead and minimize that. We have tile map stuff here. Let's add a character body 2D. Actually, it doesn't need to be a character body 2D. Not with the way I intend to do this. Let's just make it a node 2D. Player controller. Perfect. Next up is add child node, sprite 2D. Go ahead and give it a player sprite and set animation on H to 4. Player color is a bit too close to the grass color. Let's give it a more unique color. Let's say kind of a bright lime color. How does that look? That'll at least stand out. Yeah, that is probably fine. Next up, this is... I could probably leave that name as it is. The question is, do I want centered? I think no. I think I'd rather have it like so. Player controller, we'll make a script. Cancel. Save branch as scene. Let's call this prefabs and create player controller. And save. Go into this. Now I'll go ahead and make a script, create. Function. How do I want this to work? Well, first of all, we need a constant telling the tile size because I want it to be grid-based movement. Let's go ahead and create another folder called scenes and just save the test scene under test scene. Just so we have that saved now. What was I gonna do? Hard to focus sometimes. Let's see. Function. Move player. How do I want this to access? First of all, add child node. I'll go canvas layer. Add child button. And I will make this button take up the whole screen. Let's see. I think keeping it invisible still keeps it enabled, which is what I want. Move button. I need a singleton, like so. Player inputs. rename. I want just singular. Create new script. Player input. And I need to create a new node. Rename this to player input. Save scene as. Dig into here. Pass the script. And then I need to say signal move input underscore pressed go to my test scene, create, let's see, save branch test scene, move button, save it, give it a script, create, it's going to be on pressed, hold button down, and then say player input. I have not set that as a singleton yet. Globals, player input. Now I can go player input dot move input pressed dot connect, no, emit. So it emits that signal. Then we go function underscore ready. Not ready. I prefer to do this in enter tree. Like so. And say player input dot press dot connect to move player. And then we'll just say print move player, like so. If I hit play, does the button work? Select current, yes. I don't think that's doing anything. What happens if I turn the visibility on? Yep, that works, although it's got a flicker. So the button does have to be visible, but at the same time, it doesn't truly have to be visible. Modulate, play. Next is to connect this the way I want it to. I need to look this up. Oh, right there, that does exist. Create child node line 2D. I'll make this red, darker red. Now how do I want this to work? let's say oh, I know. Let's save branch as seen. Create a folder for it. Line display. Click OK. Call this line display. Save. Give it a script. Call it line display. Like so. What else was I gonna do? Oh, right. Function underscore enter tree player input dot move input pressed and dot connect function set start pos, something like this probably, and then player input released. Anyway, input pressed down start underscore pos vector 2. Let's go back to the move button and get underscore tree or get mouse position. I'll just do that. I'll save. Let's go to the line display and say point let's get it 2 points, and we'll just say points of 1 equals start underscore pos vector 2, something like that. And does that do anything? Oh, right. Player controller actually doesn't do anything right now. I need to disconnect that. Toggle. And this has to change to down again. That's perfect. Let's go with move button, player input. Now I need to go back to the button. I need another signal. Button up. I'll go player input dot move input released dot emit, and then finally pressed. I'll give this move is active. say npos. Next up is back to the button. Move is active and give it the global mouse position. Back to the line display. This sets 0.0. Function is moving, I suppose. And underscore position vector 2. Same thing right here, except with 1 and npos. Need to connect this here. Move is active. And this becomes is moving. Does this do what I want? The answer is no. How do I want to go about this? Well, first of all, I don't need this. And then function underscore physics process, why not? And we'll just say if there is underscore active equals false. I don't know if this is as effective as it should be, but this is how I'm going to go about it. Then if is active is equal to false, return. And then on here, line display, show. I need to connect the last function, move input released, function stop moving, and give that here. Lastly, stop moving just needs to say hide. Perfect. Function underscore exit tree. Gotta copy all these just for practical reasons. I'm sure it's not necessary, but I'm cautious about this. There we go. Now theoretically this should all work. Perfect. Let's go to the player, give it a camera. And we will say a zoom of 3, 4. Hit play. Where did it go? Does the zoom on the camera really affect everything like that? What if I remove the zoom and instead go project settings, general, window. I was gonna go 1200 by 800. Let's divide by 4. And then over here, 1200 by 800. That's still messing with it. Project settings. Let's undo that. 1200 by 800. Why are things still off? Let's go to script. And I'm getting the global mouse position. What if I just get the local? And hit play. Nope, that's not working. However, if I were to say disable the camera, that's how that's working. What if I take the line display away from the test scene? Go to the player controller and give it the line display. The script should still be independent. Let's enable the camera. And then let's try the local mouse position again. Still nothing. What if instead I say line display instead of changing 0.0, I just go transform.origin.position equals start position. Global position equals start position. I just don't know. Let's go back to global position. That's not working. Let's see what Google has to say. It says No, I don't know if that's it. Maybe that. Go back here. What does this say in terms of transform? Everything's at 0, 0, so I don't know why that's not changing anything. What to do? I'll check that back there. Global mouse position is just so much off. But for what reason? Player controllers at 0, 0. Cameras at 0, 0. I'll take this opportunity and just reset that to the way I wanted it. I'm kind of curious. What if I... Let's just leave that there, actually. But I'll go back to my line display and just ignore the fact that it exists. Say get global mouse position directly from here. And that seemed to have worked. So now all I just have to do is something is wrong now. That's because these are expecting stuff that I'm not giving it. Let's try that again. Let's make that line about a bit thinner. I'll say 4. Perfect. Now I need to do something else. And that is to somehow lock it to the 4 directions. So I need to if, not if. I wonder if someone solved it already. Let's go to Google again. Nope. Let's see. Let's start with this. Var direction equals I forget the formula. You subtract them, I guess. Of 1. And that should give me the direction, I guess. Let's normalize it. That works. Next up is figuring out how to lock it. What to do for that. Locking it means that I need to figure out some things. How to handle this. I think there's a decent way too, but I just don't know yet. I need to say whoops. Let's see that. What if I were to just say vector 2I can't use seal or floor because you need to account for positives and negatives. If dir dot x is greater than 0.5 dir x equals 1 if dir x is less than negative 0.5 direction dot x equals negative 1. Well, actually, I'm not seeing a change because I'm printing it out before I adjust the values. There we go. I mean, still no change. And that's not exactly how I want to format it anyway. I think I've done this before, I just don't remember how. Let's say I take direction equals direction dot normalized math no ABS vector 2 dot a no int dot no direction dot magnitude no what is orthogonal? What does that do for me? Returns a perpendicular vector rotated 90 degrees compared to the original. No. What if I just do round? What happens here? That's exactly what I want, except for the fact that it does accommodate for negative. I mean, for 8 directions. I don't want that. But I can probably do something else to fix that. so I can go ahead and normalize dot round how do I want to go about this? If direction dot x is greater than or equal to 1, or if direction dot x is less than or equal to -1, then direction dot y equals 0. Just give priority to the x. And that should do it. Lastly, and you go to player inputs, say signal move in direction and give it a direction vector 2. Player input dot move in direction dot emit direction. Go to player controller, uncomment this, move in direction. I'll call this one direction vector 2. And from here I can just say what's a good way to do this? We will say var move underscore once equals false, and then just say global position plus equals direction times tile size move once equals true, and then see if I can move the player once. That's spazzing out. Oh yeah, and I forgot. If move underscore once is equal to true, kind of have to block it. It does not move. Let's actually take this line 2D ordering, no, material maybe? No. Process. There should be something in here. Aha, top level. Exactly what I need for that at least. Let's go ahead and just say comma space direction, just so we can at least see what direction it decides. Oh right, and there's another check I wanted to do in here. And that was if where is that function? If direction dot length dot or dot. Let's see, what does length actually give me? Length of the vector. Let's go ahead and pause this for a second and just say print direction dot length just to see what numbers we get. I'll go with 40. Yeah. So if direction dot length is greater than 40 or equal to, actually, we'll just say less than. We'll do that. Boom. Did I move in the wrong direction? The answer is yes, I'm moving in the opposite direction. How to deal with that? Oh, I know that. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Player controller minus equals. That does it. All that's left is to say, go to the player controller. Let's test this even more. We'll add a timer. We'll leave it at a second. We'll put timeout and set this equal to false. Now we should be able to move. I forgot to start the timer. In fact, get underscore node timer dot start. I think that's what I need. And so every second I can move. And in fact, something else I want to do, go back to the line script. We'll go there, mouse position equals this. Control X. No, I don't want to do it like that. But still, it's not too bad. Let's actually change this timer to say 0.25 so I can move a bit faster. I need to say line 2D. What if I don't set 0.0? What if I try this again? All right. Back to here. No longer top level. And the global mouse position. What if I get local mouse position? Does that fix anything? Yes, this actually works much better. What if I say point of 1 equals direction times get local mouse position? Mouse underscore position equals get local mouse position. Set of points 1, it's mouse pos. Almost there. Zero, -1, 0, -1. What if I were to say .abs? Alright, now the line draws a bit better. Or at the very least, it pretends to be. I don't know how much I like that over it being more fluid. But for now, I'll leave it as is. What's next? Well, fully developing the player controller movement script is probably ideal. So how do I want to go about that? Well, first of all, let's remove the timer. That was just for testing purposes. This variable needs to be is moving. I'll define it as a bool. If is moving is equal to true, do nothing. Is moving equals true. Why not? I'll even just set that up here. There is no timer node, so I can get rid of that. We want a variable called destination vector2 global position plus these two then what's next? I wanted to get that destination. Actually, I need to move destination up here. Vector 2. Why not? We'll do this and this. Then we go function underscore physics process and say if is underscore moving is equal to true, lerp from global position to destination by 0.01 or 2. Let's do 0.1. See what that does. And then say if global position is equal to dot length, no, distance to destination is less than or equal to 0.1, global position equals destination is moving equals false. How does this work? By crashing. Well, this is opposite. And it's also not that good. Let's say moving slide's not really an option. Let's say destination is the direction and the current global position. You want to lerp to that position. I think I need to do minus here and that would fix it. Technically, yes. But lerping's not doing really what I want it to. However, this could be smoothed out later. Goes here, now I can do checks and whatnot. I need to raycast, add child node, raycast 2D. we'll say variable array cast 2D array underscore cast dot get node array cast 2D. Oh, whoops. Not dot get node equals get node arraycast 2D, and then say array if arraycast underscore 2D dot is colliding we will actually say return something like this. I also need to do something like array cast dot target position equals direction times tile size shouldn't be. There you go. I guess there was a typo somewhere. Oh, is it colliding with the tile map somehow? I doubt it. And the player doesn't have anything for it to collide with. Areas or bodies. Yeah, it shouldn't be colliding with anything. Think something. But what? Print arraycast dot get collider dot name. Now just say get collider. What does it tell me? Is colliding with the event map. Debug. I think it's that. That'll let me see my raycast. Yep, that's about what I figured. What I need to do is say, go here, start by moving this raycast over, transform 8 by 8, Control C, Control S, and then back into setting the destination for this. The direction is wrong. Am I able to say -1 times and just try and invert it. I think that could work. Now it is raycasting like that, but it's... There we go. Now the collision should be working. I don't know why you can walk through walls sometimes though. I must not be checking this soon enough. Or better yet, let's just set the raycast every time instead see if that fixes anything. Always just doing random things. Well, I'm locked out of the map. Yeah, somehow it just ignores one of the raycasts. But how? That is the question. Always the questions. I don't know, let's try that. Maybe that fixes it. I think I know what it is. But replicating is kind of hard. Maybe. Hmm. I don't know. I can always... Yeah, because it should only set destination from this. And only if moving is false. So if it's not colliding, it sets the destination. But it's also possible that when I change directions fast enough, weird things happen. It basically comes down to the fact that it doesn't update the raycast enough. Right. I know the solution. Disable the raycast and then say raycast dot force raycast update. It's because the raycast isn't updating fast enough. So you should just update it every time you move. Flawless. Alright, now that definitely fixed that. Got your collisions going. I should really figure out the kind of screen layout that I want. Let's Google that really quick. I want to set the project to 1280 by 720. I need to make that movement smoother. Is there another lerp kind of function? I wonder if lerp F does better. Whoops. Actually, maybe if I set it to 01. That is definitely much slower. I don't really need to lerp it though. I could always just use a tween. How to go about this? Move toward global position. To destination delta. Does this do anything for me? Move toward vector 2. Oh, I need to go like so. Instead of equals, just a dot. And global position equals something like this, right? or do I just hit move toward destination, right? Times 40. This movement is much smoother now. I still don't like how the line looks on the screen, but I'll deal with it. At some point. But for now, player movement does look to be working exactly as intended. And this speed is something I can deal with. Although there is stuttering on the tile map, so I wonder if there's a way to fix that. Maybe a project setting. Textures, no. Well, maybe. Renderer, no. 2D, maybe. I don't know, let's enable those to see if that changes anything. That's kind of the settings I was looking for. Nope. Camera. I don't know, what does that do for me? It does absolutely nothing. What to do, what to do. Let's go to camera. We'll set it to top layer. Call this player. Camera. Underscore physics process. Say position equals camera. No equals position. Dot alert to at on ready variable parent. Oh, let's call it not parent. Player controller. Call it set equal to get node. No, get parent. I'll also reference that as the node 2D. Blurb. To player controller dot position. And we'll go what? 0.1. How does this work? I mean, there's still jitter. I'll make this like 0.3 though. What happens when I toggle this? I think that's all because I'm zooming the camera, honestly. There may not be a good way to fix that. Toggle comments. What if I go to camera? Let's undo that. Nope, the issue's still happening, so it's definitely not that. Thank goodness. Let's do this, actually. Let's make this faster. Let's say 8. What happens if I set it to 1? It's interesting, but not what I'm looking for. But however, that still works like I want. If I set that. That being said, that still doesn't fix all the stuttering. Despite lerping the camera, essentially. What other solutions does the internet possibly have for me? Let's re-disable those. Well, the player's not really jittery anymore, at least. However, the map itself still kind of jitters. Let's go to player controller and just say process. That didn't change anything. I wonder what happens if I say bump that number up. Don't think that did anything. No, things are still not operating well. What if I do this? Because I kind of need to operate on that wavelength. Anyway. Doesn't really fix anything, unfortunately. What else? Let's do this. Actually, I've wanted to do this for a little while. Yeah, this kind of works. Alrighty then. Well, actually, there was a small bug. It's not working how I wanted it to that I can fix easily enough. I think. something like this. If direction dot normalized dot length is greater than 40, I'll just put that there too. Last thing I think is right there. Now the line only shows when you're moving. We'll make a variable for it. Variable. What would be a good name for this variable? Length to move int equals. I'm actually going to scale it back a bit. Just use that. I still wish I could figure out that jittering on the tile map. Let's fix the camera again. What happens if I do the uncomment this? And then make it top level again. Let's look at these comments again. Maybe something like this. Perhaps slower. Even slower. Nope. I wonder if that means that this isn't working as I want it. What if I try this? Whoops. Let's reset that just so I know what's happening and just remove that. Nope. That does not fix it. Nope. Not what I'm looking for. That does nothing. You can definitely tell that the player is what the issue is. Let's go to remove this from the top layer. That seems to be happening at any speed. So let's go back to that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm thinking of ending the stream right here. So I'm just gonna stop.